Alright, good day YouTube, it's me, Rue and or Chad here, or Motorskill, or just Motor, or Moto Rue. But anyway, so today I'll doing my, so today basically I'll be doing my trend, or my take on this trend of, so you click this video, you read the title, so this is going to be a Metalhead Furry / Scalie's take on what your Sona and or OC species says about you. This is all noted, annotated by me. This is my script here. Yeah, I did not, even though the sun is going down right now, and I'm outside, as you all can tell, but, in a foresty area by the railroad tracks, but, yeah, anyway, so I did not spend the last fucking 2 hours and 45 minutes working on the script for nothing, so, or writing it out, basically, writing it all out, so I better get on with this video real quick. Yeah, I might intervene between sitting down and standing up, to be honest, but, or I could just lean up against a tree here, but, yeah, let's just, do that, I guess. Might be better. But anyway, so yeah, so also I will be posting all my social links in the description below. I'll be posting my Spotify band link for Sins of the Scales, and anything else I feel like I'll be saying or posting links, or pasting links, posting them down below, so or including them, I guess is the correct word. But anyways, so without further ado, getting on with this. So here is a Metalhead's Furry / Scalie's take on what your Sona / OC species says about you. So this can apply to both, obviously, furries and scalies. This applies to both furries and scalies. But number one, we have wolves, and then it says most of the time very extroverted and or pack animals. They have that pack mentality. They listen to a lot of popular music, such as Metallica, Michael Jackson, Prince, maybe / unfortunately Taylor Swift, etc. They can be more quote unquote more introverted than extroverted, depending on certain circumstances. They tend to have, again, the pack mentality thing. They often stick together. Generally, they also like / love a lot of basic bitch things / food, etc. So not just music. They can be friends / partners or lovers. It all depends, because a lot of the furry community is in general, or Scalie community, is LGBTQ. So there's also a lot of polyamorous furs. So there's lovers. There's just friends. There's friends with benefits. There's the times that we just get too drunk at the party and end up having sex with a guy or transgender or whatever. So I think you all get the idea here, or most of the time we call it yiffing, but yeah, I mean, you can use any term for it. But anyways, so what else does it say here? They can be friends and or partners, depends, and or breed with any other species in the fandom. Most of them are bi and or switches, also have vanilla kinks. Regulars say a woo, quote unquote, and or howl at the moon at night. Or yeah, at least they'll howl at the moon at night, Not all of them say a woo all the time, but yeah, y'all wolves know what I'm talking about. Also, there's a good chance you love Beastars and or Legoshi. Just saying. So yeah, again, before I go on with this, take this all with a grain of salt. I'm kind of just memeing here and or joking around, but also at the same time, tell me if I was accurate, or if I triggered some feelings in y'all. Like, how accurate was I with this, and how good did I do, and all that. So yeah, Number 2, we have foxes. 90% of them are gay. 50% of them are bottoms and or switches. They love / like even more basic bitch things than the wolves, probably such as yet even more girly pop music, vanilla ice cream, or villain. They like their kinks and fetishes are the same as their ice cream. They just like it vanilla, etc. They're fucking loudmouths like all the time, pretty much. They think they're sly, right? But a lot of times they're just they don't know when to shut the hell up, and they're too loud and everything. But yeah, in reality, y'all are normally dumber and or more cursed than the wolves. Sorry, but it's true to an extent. But again, take this all with a grain of salt. I'm just fucking around here. If you / y'all happen to meet one who ain't a total basic bitch, shout out to Jay the Wolf. I'll include his channel in the description. Or no, sorry, not Jay. Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. Sorry, Jay. Shout out to Jay the Fox, the green fox specifically. I'll include his channel in the description. I probably said wolf because we just kind of met again on Discord, and I just joined his Discord server again. I'm probably gonna have to post that in the description below now too. So anyways, he's like the one that I've met that he listens to Linkin Park, a lot of rock and metal music, or good music in other words. So yeah, or I mean, listen to whatever. Sorry, I don't like Taylor Swift, but I'm not going to stop you from listening to her. I'm not going to ever stop you from listening to like fucking Marilyn Manson either. So yeah, I mean, if you know, you know. But yeah, I just generally don't like that kind of music. I like some Marilyn Manson songs. Like some of his stuff is good, but I mean, he's just, a lot of people fucking hate him for obvious reasons, and he's like cringe or whatever. But yeah, it's like the taboo subject in the very taboo subject or person in the metalhead community. But yeah, yeah, I think you all get the idea here with foxes. And then it also says they have no set bedtime and or wake up time. This can apply to any species and or Sona in the whole fandom though. Sort of like the wolves. So yeah, again, it can apply to any species in the fandom too. But also probably have to follow a general 9 to 5 schedule. Also just like the wolves because of work and or school. Whatever y'all are doing, but most foxes are probably generally in high school and or college or working a normal ass fucking retail job, like or a grocery store retail job like Walmart, Costco, fucking your normal grocery stores, shit like that. So yeah, I think yeah, same with the wolves, except wolves might actually more likely be like a plumber or a mechanic or something. I feel like that fits their vibe better. But yeah, or you go to Cherryton Academy. My God. But most likely they're also coffee lovers, or they can work as a barista too. There's a lot of art like that. But yeah, and they're always horny. They're horny as fuck. Let's just admit it. But like even more so than the wolves, I will say. But yeah, and then dogs / huskies. Most of them, or basically all of them, are goofy goobers. They're loyal most of the time. 75% of them are gay and or bi. Can be dramatic at times, or silly and or bark / howl a lot. Okay. I'm gonna be honest. Husky furs are probably more noisy than foxes, like low key. But yeah, call me fucking crazy. I don't care. But yeah, they nap / sleep regularly, just like any other fucking species in the fandom. Again, but right? So, I mean, we're in this world. We're still human. We all eat, sleep, and shit. So yeah, you all get it. So yeah, they're probably dogs and or huskies or Dalmatians. Yeah, basically dogs in general can be or probably the horniest and or kinkiest / most kinky species in the entire furry fandom as a whole. More likely to be into real music, quote unquote, such as Korn, Slipknot, and probably Slayer rather than Metallica, Megadeth, etc. Because let's be honest, I think most of you can agree with me. Slayer is the best thrash metal band ever. I don't care how popular they are; they're better than Metallica and Megadeth, and not to mention Anthrax. But yeah. And yeah, I will say, so Show No Mercy is actually my favorite Slayer album, which is underrated in their catalog or discography or whatever. But yeah, discography, sorry. But anyways, on with this. They're probably also into old school rap and or hip hop, such as NWA, Run DMC, Beastie Boys, Snoop Dogg, of course, Eminem, Dr. Dre, Notorious B.I.G., Bone Thugs and Harmony, etc. They just might be into Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, Mudvayne, etc. too, or as well. So yeah, with each species, the more exotic the animal is, I guess the more exotic music taste they have. I mean, it just kind of goes hand in hand, or paw and paw in this case. But yeah, or yeah, 2/ as well. And then 10 points also if they enjoy tennis also, and or even play any ball and or frisbee sport. And they, last but not least, they also still probably like girly pop as a guilty pleasure. That's all I have for the dogs, and specifically, I guess, the huskies. Number 4, big cats / lions / tigers / panthers, so big cats in general. More like, also like cheetahs and leopards too, although they're less common than the others that I have mentioned here. But they're more likely to not like girly pop and or be true metalheads. God, what was I on when I was writing this shit? Pretty much all of them are bi and or pan and or at least bi-curious. There's no such thing as a completely straight furry and or scaly that I also have written here. Probably work some kind of white collar job and or office job. Or if you've watched Zootopia, they can be a president or a prime minister or whatever, king, whatever. I mean, they are the king of the jungle, right? Lions. And then, yeah, when they watched The Lion King as children, their first love was one of the main characters, and then they decided to rewatch it at least 50 times or so, and they probably love and or like bands such as Motley Crue, Rat, Extreme, Steelheart, etc. So glam metal in general. And then they most likely are paw lovers. Or yeah, it says they're glam metal fans. It says they're most likely paw lovers, since they've fallen down to their knees to kiss / worship Scar's Scar from the Lion King. Yeah, his foot paws at least 50 times or so, for example. And then most of them are also switches, I guess, too. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, that's what I've noticed at least. But anyways, on with 2 horses. So for the horses, I have written they're most likely from the south and or at least a rural horses most likely from the south and or at least a rural area, at least like country music such as Johnny Cash, Dwight Yoakam, etc. And then as for male horses or stallions, I guess, whatever you want to call them, they're most likely tops for obvious reasons. And then female horses, in other words mares, they're most likely power bottoms, again for obvious reasons. They love cuddling and or aftercare, probably even though you wouldn't think of as horses being into that, but they probably most likely are. I mean, they can be pretty kinky motherfuckers, let's be honest. But there's a somewhat good chance they're farmers. That's what their job is. They probably also love doing it, quote unquote, the country rock music. If you ever meet a horse fur who's actually, quote unquote, straight, consider yourself lucky. Generally super chill and or nice, and or they love grainy beer. I guess they drink that extra grainy beer. I had to include that joke in there. And then most of the time they're just pretty simple minded. You know, they enjoy a lot of the simple pleasures, etc. It's easy to please horses. So yeah, if you have a, girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband, horse, partner, yeah, you're pretty lucky, because they're generally just very good people at heart. So yeah. All right. That is it for page 1 and page 2. So that's it for that. Don't need that fucker anymore. So yeah, let's move on to number 6. Hyenas and or yeens, as they're affectionately known as in the fandom. They're crazy and or energetic / ADHD. Probably a good chance that they're autistic. If you meet Yeen, Sona, I see y'all, okay? It takes one to know one. So yeah, I'm not just talking shit here. I'm speaking facts at this point. But yeah, yeah, I'm intervening between those two things. But yeah, I think y'all get it. They love any kind of comedy and or comedy core bands, or I guess stand-up comedy, sitcoms, etc., comedy movies or shows, and then the comedy core bands such as Psycho Sick, Bloodhound Gang, etc. The Bloodhound Gang, sorry, their full name, but and then they often crack jokes and or laugh because, of course, they're hyenas. They probably also occasionally, they even maybe do it when it's appropriate, or they even maybe do it when it's inappropriate, sorry. Almost all of them are bi and or pan, gay and or trans. A lot of them are really kinky, to be honest, and a lot of them are switches as well. And then they can also be, y'all are gamers and or at least like gaming, standard and / throughout the whole fandom. Probably play an instrument and or are in a band and have at least one creative outlet. A good number of them are polyamorous. Again, I have somewhat standard throughout the whole fandom, so it can apply to any species, basically. Species and gender. So yeah, gender is the other kind of, I guess. I don't know. You know what? I'm still trying to figure this out, even though I've been a furry since I was 14 and now I'm 22. So you all do the math. What is more important in the fandom, gender or species, or both equally? I'm not entirely sure about that, but yeah. So this applies to both species and gender here. The polyamory, LGBTQ, that whole thing. Yeah. They're most likely, y'all are you're most likely close with your fellow kangaroo furs and or possum furs. Have at least one body and or ear piercing and or tattoos. Can also apply to any species and or, so yeah, that can apply to any species and or Sona or arts, I guess, in the fandom. Again, just to say that, because it is true. But anyways, so number 7, we have snakes. They can be genuinely insane, but in a good way, or at least for the most part, in a good way. And it also says, say whatever comes to mind. And then I got, sorry y'all, I got kind of lazy towards the end here. And I just have, so snakes, I guess, I'm guessing that they probably like, like movies like Snakes on a Plane. They probably like Indiana Jones that has a lot of snakes in it. Any book or magazine that has snakes in it. They love the letter S and hissing. I will also say, so yeah, if any snake scalies are listening to my band, Sends of the Scales, their favorite song is probably Cobra's Blood and Cheesecake. But yeah, they really dug the Jungle Book as kids, and they really liked Ka, the snake, in the Jungle Book. Generally they love really tight hugs. They love really tight squeezing hugs. They're very actually you'd be surprised. They're actually, a lot of them are very friendly, but a lot of them are I guess they're the least crazy in the Scalie offset of the furry fandom. But generally a lot of them are, well, there's a lot of gay snakes, but there's, again, very few of them are straight. Even though there's kind of no such thing, again, as a furry, there's no such thing as a straight furry and or scaly. But they probably love their sweaters and or flannels. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about snakes. And then number 8 here, I have Sergals. So Sergals, I'm going to stop talking about the whole entire sexuality thing, because it's a recurring thing in the whole fandom, and I've just kind of been repeating it. So yeah, Sergals, y'all love cheese, y'all love dad jokes and or fart jokes. I don't know why I said that, but yeah. You guys probably get along with the kangaroos because you guys like animals with oddly shaped appendages and or feet or hands, paws, whatever. But yeah, yeah. And then if you're a Sergal in real life, you're probably a very distinguished gentleman, and or lady, madam. Yeah, that's all I had to say about Sergals. And then virgins. Also, if you're a Sergal, you're probably into like a lot of classical music, or any music in general, which can apply to any species in the fandom. But yeah, I've never really met any furry and or scaly who generally didn't like at least one type of music. So yeah, but yeah, protogens are probably, actually snakes are probably more likely to be metalheads, or like rock music, or possibly like Sister. Shout out to Sister Machine Gun. I think some snake scalies probably enjoy some Sister Machine Gun and some Chem Lab, bands like that. So yeah, shout out to Chem Lab too. Yeah, and then number 9 we have protogens. If you're a protogen, you're probably very into computers and or tech. You probably work in some kind of tech job, or electronics field, whatever. Whether it be like working on computers, fixing them, be like fixing electronics on like an airplane or something crazy like that, or like working on fighter jets. I don't know, but yeah. That's in the military, so yeah, that's a whole nother level if you do that. But anyways, yeah, protogens, you love your technology and your phones and everything, but computers, and then you're listen to a lot of industrial music, electronic, EBM, EDM music, stuff like that. And unironically, if you're a protogen, I'm just gonna say it, you're probably also a huge anime fan. For whatever reason. Yeah, I mean, about protogens. And also, you eat microchips for breakfast. That's all I had to say about protogens. But yeah, and I'm not going to say the toaster joke. Everybody says the toaster joke about protogens, so I'm not going to do that. I came up with the microchips for breakfast one. But then we have number 10. We have Pokemon Furs. So generally, I will say they do have that sort of pack mentality, sort of like the wolves, but a lot of them are submissives, to be honest, or switches as well. But yeah, like their partner or lover, I guess, generally will be a top, and like, you know, um sort of like their trainer, like they always listen to them, they're always super loyal to them, you know, they buy them what they want or need all the time. But yeah, so yeah, generally they also do make really good friends if you just want to be friends with them. But yeah, they love Pokemon or pretty much any kind of anime. They're probably also pretty big gamers, again, which is standard throughout the whole fandom. But yeah, that's all I had to say about Pokemon Furs. So next we have sharks slash dolphins slash lizards slash porpoises, and/or dinos, and also other fish scalies in general. So scalies besides dragons, because dragons are getting their own seat at the table here. So yeah. So y'all either love, probably like, you know, walking, flying. You're probably athletic and or muscular, and or you have a lot of hobbies. You probably have a lot of piercings, jewelry, like necklaces, you know, earrings, industrial piercings, all that. Uh, you unironically probably love singing in the shower. I don't know why, but just because. Let's be honest. Look, we do our best singing in the shower. But yeah. But yeah, you're probably also extremely kinky and really great in bed, and you're probably most likely a switch. But I will say, I guess if you're a shark, you're more likely to be more of a top end, and then if you're, I guess, a dolphin or a lizard, you're more likely to be on the. Actually, dolphins. I don't think there's a single dolphin that's not a switch, to be honest. But yeah, in the fandom. But anyways, and then I guess lizards or the other fish scalies would more likely to be bottoms. But yeah, but the, I guess, sexual talk. But anyways, I will say that if you're an other scaly species besides a dragon, if that's what your Sona is, you can seem like, you know, it's very hard. Like, people might get intimidated by you, but like, unless, you know, you're close to them, they get to know you, they'll see that you actually are a good person and have a heart of gold and a soul of iron, all that. But yeah, also there's a good chance you also play there. This can again apply to any species in the whole fandom, but yeah, you probably play guitar and or bass and or have your own bands, etc., or you're already like, you know, touring in another major label band. But yeah, y'all motherfuckers are crazy as hell too. So yeah, and kinky. But yeah, because like, for example, if you're a lizard, that means you're into lizard feet. So yeah, I think you all get what I'm saying here. But number 12, calves and or bulls, same as the horse furs, more or less. That's all I have to say about them, just to make it easier. Then bears. Bears love hugs. Generally more on the thicker side. They're not very thin, so even more fat and thick than me. So yeah, they love their tight bear hugs and everything, but they love cuddles, affection, aftercare, etc., which again can apply to any species in the fandom. But yeah, bears will probably also generally always take care of you like they're, you're their little sugar baby or something. But yeah, I would say there's more top, like, sorry, bears are more likely to be tops, indoor power bottoms. I don't know. I'm just guessing here, but yeah. And then I don't know, what, I haven't met many bear furs, so I can't really say too much about them. I'm just going off of what's on the top of my head here. So yeah, I'm going off of what's on the tip of my tongue here. That's the, yeah. But yes, I will say the bears are generally, they're pretty good people, and they enjoy a nice, kind of like, I guess, any other species. They enjoy, good food, good company, good soda, good wine, energy drink. Oh yeah. Say Norwegians, they're the most likely species in the fandom. Actually, next, besides the kangaroos, they're most likely to love energy drinks, too. So, but yeah, that can apply to any, but yeah. Hyenas or any species in this whole fandom can love, gaming, drinking at night, drinking energy drinks, beer, or seltzers, whatever. There's like, I've seen those memes where it's like, don't let the dragons drink the White Claws, or whatever. But yeah, if y'all know if you know, But yeah, moving on, kangaroos and or possums, skunks are not marsupials, by the way, but koalas, other marsupials in general. So if you're, I guess this can apply to any of them, but despite being a skunk, you're probably actually a very hygienic, clean person. You take good care of yourself and your personal needs, I guess. If you're a kangaroo, you drink at least, probably, I don't know, at least one energy drink every day. If you're a yin, you might not even do that. You might just have, energy drinks when you can afford them. But yeah, kangaroos always have energy drinks. I don't know what it is, but yeah. Unless, they medically can't drink them for some reason. Shout out to Renegade Kangaroo. Hi, Renegade. I know you're watching this, so yeah. Also, again, hi to Jay the Fox, because I haven't really talked about him in any of my previous videos. But yeah, kangaroos, I will say you probably have an even bigger foot paw fetish than the lions. Yeah. Yes, so like after a long day of hopping, you'll probably, massage them at the end of a long, hard day of working. If you're a kangaroo, you probably have like a construction job, something, or you're a gym coach, something fucking crazy like that, I guess, which can apply to any species in the fandom still, but yeah. I will say, like, the kangaroos and the dragons and I guess the, hyenas probably have the fucking craziest job, or total, if like 50% of them have crazy ass jobs, or passions, hobbies, whatever, like, sends the scales, for example. But the other 50%, they just have normal jobs. Like, for example, Renegade Kangaroo is, I guess, still a teacher, whenever he gets over his current mental conditions. But yeah, I think you all can understand what I'm saying here. Or, I used to work at grocery stores a lot, so yeah, and I will say, so for those of y'all I haven't told yet, I did apply to Costco again recently. Another Costco in my area, not the same one that I applied at before in Irvine, the one in Laguna Niguel, on a road, or a street, or a road that starts with the letter C in the name. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah. So I have an interview with them. I talked to the manager, called him on the phone today, and I talked to him, and I have an interview with Costco scheduled for this coming Tuesday at 12 noon p.m. So yeah, wish me luck. Cross your fingers, talons, paws, whatever you want. Pray for me, whatever, because let me tell you, I definitely need this job. So yeah. Anyways, we're almost at the end here. Kangaroo, like if any of these species listed here, y'all are as kinky, if not more kinky, than the dogs or the dragons, I guess, the other scalies. But yeah, also I honestly haven't met a single kangaroo fur who is not somewhat LGBTQ. So yeah, yeah, y'all fucking rock. Also, kangaroos are likely to also at least one earring and or industrial piercing, in one of your ears. But yeah. All right, number 15, pigs and or boars. I've never really met one, so I can't really say much about them. So, yeah, I'm just gonna assume that in general it's the same as they're the same more or less as the horse furs, or, the horse Sonas, yeah. And then what did I also, cows and or bulls, they're probably also good friends with them too, but yeah, because they're all, farm and boars, though I have no idea. But yeah, you're probably, I guess, most likely from Russia, or you're Slavic if you're a boar. But yeah, and then also there might be a chance you're Australian, or I guess British if you're a king. Or yeah, there's a lot of British dragons too, though. But yeah, so y'all know, I'm not just talking about American furries and or scalies here. I'm talking about the worldwide fandom. So yeah, it is in pretty much most countries. So yeah, we're everywhere. Beware, we're everywhere. So yeah. Number 16, meerkats. I guess same as the lion and or big cat furs, more or less. And then number 17, dragons, and or wyverns, I guess, as well. Basically everything I said about the kangaroo and or possum furs, etc. But oh my gosh, like amplify everything I said about, I guess, the lion furs, but like by 1,000%. Also, we're reptiles. Dragons are the most likely species in the fandom to listen to like Meshuggah, death metal, any fucking, heavy music like that, new metal. Dragons are the most likely species in the fandom to be true fucking metalheads and have, be in bands and play bass, keyboard, synth, because dragons are actually the craziest, most insane species in the fandom, to be honest. Even more crazy than the hyenas and the kangaroos. But yeah, we love not only metal music, I guess, but any type of music. We actually, dragons are also most likely to be pilots. Or yeah, there's a known pilot furs community. So yeah, a lot of dragon. We love flying. So yeah, we can either that, or we love RC cars and or airplanes, boats, etc. But yeah, that can be anybody though, but really. But yeah. But I will say dragons are equally as lovable as we are, scary, kinky, horny, etc. Yeah. And if you're a dragon, I can say, as a matter of fact, you have a heart of gold and a soul of steel. Not iron, but steel. Shout out to Aragon and Saphira. So yeah. AKA the I turned this man into a Scalie, or I turned this person into a Scalie dragon, Saphira. So yeah, if you know, you know. And then dragons tend to also have the most, passions, creative outlets, I've noticed. But yeah, I don't want this video to drag on for a million years, or I just said drag on, but yeah, again, but yeah, though, what else can I say about, but yeah, so even though most dragons in the fandom are fairly compatible with, even kangaroos, to be honest, yeah, because generally most of us are, despite our scary, intimidating appearance, we are just, we're lovable beings at the end of the day, and we will give you, wine and foot rubs or paw rubs at the end of the hard day. But yeah, only if you give us a million currency scrolls. I'm just kidding, but yeah, $1 million. Anyways, all right, I think that about does it for this video. So hopefully y'all got some information, some infotainment, some education out of that. Let me know in the comments how accurate was I, or how inaccurate was I. I know I got a little bit lazy towards the end there with the, say what comes to mind segments for the different species, but yeah. Yes, though. Again, so this is Rue signing out. Thanks you all so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video or so, which probably will come out a long time after this one, because now, yeah. So again, I'm going to put all my social media links, Spotify links, oh yeah, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, there will be a complimentary playlist, which will go along with this video, which is on Spotify. So if you have Spotify, go check that out if you want. Everything will be in the description. And yeah, take it easy, y'all, and keep it furry / Scalie style always, wherever you are. Thanks for your continued support of not only this channel, but also, yeah, I can only say thanks for all my friends and or lovers that I have in this fandom, and yeah, y'all take it easy. This is Rue signing out. Bye.